Welcome back, everyone. Far-left Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez stirring it up again, this time for comments she made in an interview with the New Yorker magazine about the nation's crime surge. AOC saying, quote, "We don't want to say some of the things that are obvious, like, gee, the child tax credit just ran out on December 31st, and now people are stealing baby formula. We don't want to have that discussion. We want to say these people are criminals, or we want to talk about people who are violent instead of environments of violence and what we're doing to either contribute to that or dismantle that." Leslie, I think for some people what's hard to hear about that is that when they are in violent arenas and they see violent recidivists go free, then they think that maybe parsing words is inconsequential, and what we really need by our government is action to stop the violence. Your thoughts?
I don't agree with AOC that the child tax credit is the reason for an increase in crime. It's a multifaceted problem, and we've heard from experts across the board. You know, here we've all discussed what those are. Her second point, however, I do agree with, because I am fearful, and I hope I am wrong, and I hope she's wrong, and I hope our democracy continues and continues to shine like a beacon of freedom throughout the world. But I am concerned when I see some of the legislation being put forth. I am concerned when I see rhetoric and Stars of David and swastikas, which, you know, so many of our men, especially, and women in World War II, gave their lives to fight to have that on our soil. I'm very concerned when I see some of the rhetoric in our elected officials toward each other, or threats, you know, from individuals towards somebody who might be Muslim or Jewish or a person of color. So I am fearful that our democracy may be dying, and not necessarily in the dark, but with a spotlight on it, although I don't agree for the reason the increase in crime that she cited, the child tax credit. I don't agree with that.
Right. So actually, that's a good segue. So let's pull up her point about what she says, democracy ending in 10 years. Kaylee, we'll get your points. We'll pull it up here. AOC, she told the New Yorker what she thinks about the future of our democracy when she was asked about the bipartisan infrastructure bill. She said, "If it does what it's intended to do, the bill, politicians will take credit for it 10 years from now, if we even have a democracy 10 years from now."
I mean, what is wrong with her? And I'm sorry, Leslie, I totally disagree with you. And she didn't just say democracy is dying in 10 years. She said the world will die in 12 years. I'm paraphrasing her here because of climate change. No, I mean, this woman is an alarmist. She's a doomsday type person. And her reason, when you dig down beyond that sentence you just read, was because of Jim Crow disenfranchisement. This hyperbolic rhetoric is designed by the Democrat Party to achieve an end. We've heard it from President Joe Biden. He compared those who are against federalizing elections to segregationists. Well, why are they fighting so hard against this? They want to federalize our elections. They don't want basic voter integrity measures like that in Georgia. By the way, they were fact-checked by the Washington Post. And they said, no, Georgia actually expands voting. They're using this alarmist rhetoric. Our democracy is going to die if you have to show your ID. Sorry, guys, 80% of people support that.
Harris.
I'm still trying to digest some of what Leslie was saying. Because, Leslie, I hear you when you say that you are legitimately concerned about where we're going in the country in terms of civility. I think our politics have gotten toxic, right? I mean, I hear you on that.
Agree.
Where you lose me is all of the victimhood that you say that you see all around for all these different groups of people, and not knowing who we are as Americans and how we can move forward and how we can change. So I was born in 1965. Yes, that's calculator age for old.
No.
And there were signs in this country that were still up about where coloreds could drink and so. And my father fought for this country at that time in an unpopular war, I might add, because he believes in what she stands for, the nation, and that we have the most potential of any country on the planet. And he said, I would rather be a citizen and fight for a country that is moving and trying and urging and struggling and doing all of that than one that settles for less than greatness. That's who we are. So we can come from a country that hosed citizens in the streets to where we are now because we're great like that. And I'm sorry you don't see it that way. And others would like to put doomsday stickers all over the walls. But I know who America is.
Yes.
And I don't see the victimhood.
I want to be clear. I think America's great, but I am concerned about what you just spoke of.
I never interrupted you. I don't see the victimhood that you are not only saying that you can see out there, but that you agree with AOC on. I just don't see that. A woman who went to the border and advocated, but then hasn't been back during the worst of times
Went to
at the
Florida.
border, right? I don't see it the way you do, because I know that we can go forward and achieve the greatness that's meant for us. Are we going to struggle in some areas? Obviously we are. We're human.
Jason, we have to get Jason in here. So listen, ironically, Jason, as AOC rails against the hyperbole of the crime surge in the last couple years, calling it, quote, hysteria, she, to Kaylee's point, is quite comfortable using hyperbolic language like Jim Crow and the like in other instances. But I want your thoughts on her calling the reaction to the crime surge, to all of those violent homicides and more, and destruction of communities, as hysteria.
She's a sensationalist. I think it's a misdirection. And I think AOC, I'd love to see her answer, what's the difference between a constitutional republic, representative government, and a democracy? I don't think she can answer that question. And all of her complaints about how Washington, D.C. is being run and their democracy is falling apart, I'm sorry, but the Democrats have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They only have to look for themselves. And when the majority of the people in the United States Senate are opposed to changing the filibuster, that's the end of democracy. But that's actually, it was the majority. That's how they voted. And so she can't have it both ways, but she'll continue to get a lot of media attention just because she'll say anything to say that the world is ending, year after next or whatever it might be, the flavor of the month.
Just one sentence: democracy's dying in 10 years, but she's partying in Florida. That should tell you all you need.